We have breaking news as the Miami Heat just made a huge move that is wildly controversial amongst fans that have many questioning what exactly Pat Riley is cooking and what the future holds for Erik Spoelstra and his lineups, as one thing has become very clear. The Miami Heat are bought in on one of their most polarizing young players who personally, to me, I believe the Heat just made one of the best moves they've made this offseason thus far, and it's going so under the radar, and fans do not realize how excellent this is for Miami, and we're going to break down all of this, what just happened, who this player is, and why the Miami Heat just got an absolute steal that in a couple of years, fans are going to wonder how the Heat pulled this off, and we're going to jump right into things as always. But guys, real quick, if you're part of that 78%, let's not subscribe to Heat Digest, and you want daily Miami Heat updates, this is the place to be. Guys, the NBA season is just around the corner with preseason beginning in just a few days, and I am so excited for basketball to be back. We have so much updates all season long that you do not want to miss out on, so make sure you're subscribed and make sure those post notifications are on. But let's jump into the video. There's a lot to go over right now. As we know, things are a little bit quiet for the Miami Heat right now. We were wondering what Pat Riley's cooking in the midst of multiple trade talks, specifically regarding Andrew Wiggins. Wiggins has been someone who's been on the trade market a lot, and we did have a lot of wondering about what's exactly going to happen with him, but right now, it feels like maybe no trade will end up happening. However, that doesn't mean no moves are happening, as we just saw the Heat make an absolutely huge move right in the nick of time, and this move is, as revealed by Shams Charania, Miami Heat forward Nikola Jovic has agreed to a 4-year, $62.4 million rookie contract extension with the franchise. Jeff Schwartz, Sean Kennedy, and Jared Muncha of XL Sports Management tell ESPN. Jovic averaged a career-high 10.7 points last season as his Heat role elevates. As mentioned by Shams, Jovic averaged 10.7 points over 25 minutes a night in the 46 games he appeared in. He also got 4 rebounds and 3 assists. Showed a lot of playmaking prowess. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice a little bit. While shooting 45% from the field and 37% from 3, including 48% on the corner 3. Jovic showed incredible efficiency and the fact that he is growing as a player. At 22 years old, it's really starting to hit that time in Season 5 where we wondered what exactly we have here in Nikola Jovic. There's been a lot of potential ever since he was drafted, and it has taken a while. He hasn't appeared in too many games throughout his NBA career, but there is a lot of hope around him. Hope that the Heat clearly harbor with the fact that many have just already pegged this as an interesting move based off potential. And as Clutch Points' Chris Persianen mentioned, that Nikola Jovic number made my eyebrows reach an elevated status. But when I think about it, this is a league where potential pays, and Jovic is in line for a much bigger role. If he scales up more minutes, this will be a completely fair deal, if not an underpay. Good for Jovic. I think this is good for Jovic and even better for the Heat. Now, fans on Twitter or X were really pretty much all over the place. Someone saying that he's not very good, as the words I'm going to put it there. The NBA world saying, wow. We're seeing here that Pat Riley, being old, probably thought he was signing Nikola Jovic when he gave that offer sheet in. Why the hell is he getting paid like a star, the price for role players these days? First of all, we'll get into that in a second. Holy overpay. When you have a guy who averaged a career high of 10 points last year, you simply have no other choice but to pay him nearly $20 million per year. Look, no one's saying this isn't a lot of money. I understand. It's a lot for Nikola Jovic. The man just got paid. But we have to understand, $20 million in the NBA is just not what it used to be, man. We're seeing these guys get $60+ million per year on contracts. So when you understand that a star can be getting over $60 million per year on a contract nowadays with these new contracts, when we look at Jovic, who's getting a third of that, is he a third of a star player? That's up for debate. Right now, honestly, I'm kind of 50-50 on it, leaning a little bit towards no, just because we haven't seen him perform a bunch. Does that mean he's not going to play at least like a third of a star by the time his contract is up? Absolutely not. I think Jovic still has a whole lot of room to grow, and trusting in Jovic's growth, trusting in his process, trusting in everything that he's been working on is a worthy gamble by the Heat. The Heat's young talent right now is not exactly established. I know Tyler Herro's not old. He's 25 years old, so his best days are ahead of him. Kel'el Ware is a very exciting piece, but outside of that, the next most exciting guy we have that's young is Nikola Jovic. So you got to pay him. You got to see this thing through. It's not going to ruin the money too badly, and honestly, I love the idea of paying Jovic overall. Now, when we look at Jovic's numbers, there is a lot to dissect from multiple different areas. We saw him recently perform in Eurobasket. He's performed for Serbia 3 times in his life, when he's 17, when he's 19, when he's 21. Jovic in Eurobasket played very, very well, putting up 13 points per game, 4.5, and also making 4.5 shots out of his 7.5 attempts. With the rebounds and assists, he was also solid, getting 4 rebounds and 2 assists a night. He shot 60% from the field and 52.4% from 3. This was a man whose efficiency was through the roof in these 6 games that he appeared in, and looked as good as anyone on that team, a team that does have Nikola Jovic. So it's important to note that obviously 13 points per game in Eurobasket goes farther than it does in the NBA because the possessions are a little bit slower. We're going to see less points than we see in NBA games. But Jovic still, he showed a lot of improvement. He showed an aggression out in Eurobasket that we've been waiting to see from him, and it's worked out. And when we look at this depth chart from the Miami Heat, what we see, or this depth chart, I should say, from the Miami Heat, obviously Tyler Hero's not here right now because of the injury, but we know he's on the roster, we know all that stuff. We know he's starting at point guard, but the thing is, when we look at Jovic, he is a backup forward for this team. He's the backup forward. No matter what the starting lineup looks like, and it's very likely that we do Game 1 see Davion Mitchell, Norman Powell, Andrew Wiggins, Bam Adebayo, and Kel'el Ware start, and we see Davion Mitchell just get replaced by Tyler Kolek and still see that starting lineup with Jovic and Precious Achiuwa as the backups, while also Kel'el Ware and Bam Adebayo's minutes get a little bit staggered. Jovic is in for a very big role because he's really the backup forward for both small forward and power forward right now. He's going to get on the court a lot further, or a lot earlier than Jaime Jaquez Jr. is. I imagine he'd be on the floor before Pelle Larsson and Kasper Asiakachonis. At the very least, Jovic is this team's 6th man, and when we consider that, it does make sense why, when we look at Jovic, why he got paid this money. That's around what a lot of 6 men do get paid in the NBA right now, especially when one of your starters in Ware is on a rookie scale deal. It makes a lot of sense. It's only 10% of the salary cap after all. Now, as we know, Chris Persianen said this, but also when we look at what was mentioned here, this is a really good contract for Miami. 10% of the cap for a 6'10", 22-year-old plus playmaker who's shooting 38% from 3, on the 80th percentile in volume over the last 2 seasons. Feels low, even if his development were to stagnate. Jovic, Ware, and Kasparas is an encouraging young group to have. And just, I agree. I fully agree. This feels like a good move, if you ask me. When we look at the Heat's cap table, that's also something we consider as well. Because looking at everything, there's not like it's bad contracts galore. Yeah, Wiggins is on a bit of an interesting contract, but it's not bad at all for a guy who's putting up around 18 points a night with 4.5 rebounds, playing really, really good defense as well. Norman Powell's on an understandable deal before he hits free agency. Terry Rozier, that money's going to get freed up, and we're basically replacing it with Nikola Jovic. Honestly, I like that. I don't think there's too much to be worried about right here. Yeah, maybe one day we'll have to pay Jaime Jaquez something, and eventually Kel'el Ware will need money, but that's 3 years away. That's not something we have to worry about in the imminent future. There's really no contract extensions we have to worry about in the imminent future, except for Tyler Hero's, and his isn't going to kick in next year either. So the Heat have a lot of time to figure out their books more, and securing Jovic, keeping him around and keeping him happy, while he still has way more room to grow, is exactly the type of move that we love to see the Miami Heat make. Guys, what do you think of this move? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. Like this video, subscribe so you don't miss a single update. Turn on those post notifications. Have a great day, guys. I'll catch you later.